This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you, brother, in teaching His word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children that will receive mercy from the Lord in these last days. I'm the brother Dama Agibar here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right. And as you can see, the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and these captains, are going to hide themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, which starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, going all the way back, when I first came on the YouTube in 2007, prophesied that, these devils, these elites, were going to be hiding out in their underwater retreats, building, their domes, their space stations, their mountain retreats. And these elites have, places throughout the earth where they're going to be underground while all hell is breaking loose upon the surface. You see, during the time of Jacob's trouble, when they collapsed this economy, when Second Ezra the 15th and the 16th chapter come to pass, when it's, anarchy and chaos all, throughout Babylon the Great, America, hey, these elites are going to be, hiding out in remote places in the earth, with their servants, with their butlers, with their, with their sorcery and with their witchcraft, with their wineries, with their slaves, living very comfortably and, securely, ultimately to be reserved to be the first crop of slaves for Yahweh Shai when he makes his second return. And after he judges and destroys Babylon, the great America, man. All right. And this is all prophecy. All right. And we're literally seeing it come into pass in real life. And we literally see, oh, shit. And we literally see these things coming to pass, Let me get this real fast. What was I about to get? What was I about to get? Damn it, it just slipped my mind. You know what? Maybe Lord willing, it'll come back to me, because I was watching this video from this guy's video, The Nations Conspire, and it says here, America spent 21 trillion on underground world for the elite. And you see, and this is all prophetic, because this is where the Lord is going to want these super rich, these super elites to be when Yahweh Shai returns, because, this is where they're going to be taken, and grabbed up out of the earth after the dust settles and the smoke clears and Yahweh Shai comes back and destroy all these nations and their armies in the valley of Jehoshaphat. When the elect are beamed up and we're taken up into the chariots and delivered from the destruction, and you're going to see that new Jerusalem, new heavens and a new earth coming down from heaven. This is where we're going to grab up these super elite and these rich from out of their bunkers, out of their underground worlds that they've spent trillions of dollars upon. All right. And it's beautiful. Oh, that's what I was going to get. The water Yahweh Shai. And like I said, we've been prophesying and telling you that these things were going to come, but now we see, it's coming out in the mainstream, so to speak. All right. This is Psalm 64 and 8. It says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. You see? And that's what we see happening. So I'm going to play this little clip. Got a couple more precepts just further show you that, hey, man, the prophecies are definitely on point. And as I was listening to this video, we already know this, but it just further confirms that, hey, man, we absolutely have nothing to fear. All right. Yeah, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to do everything that prophecy said he is going to do. And if we're part of the elect, hey, there's nothing to fear. Hey, the Lord's going to come through for the elect in the clutch. Hey, the Lord is revealing all things. And for those of us who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you should be comforted in seeing these things coming out, because it further confirms what the scriptures say. All right. And we can see these things happening clearly, man. So Let me play this. Got a couple more precepts, Lord willing, you can be edified, man. But hey, the water Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
And remember, this is how they lure people in. Because everybody hears this and everybody's starting to say, well, they have an underground city. Well, everyone needs to know that they've had an underground city for a long time. Our tax money has gone into building this for a long time. There's channels out there that have covered underground cities and vast networks underground, like the channel My Lunch Break.
You see, and like we always say, this is why you got to watch these movies with a spiritual eye. Because when I was watching this thing, it immediately made me think of the Kingsman. When Eggsy went into the dressing room with I think his name was Lancelot or whatever. I remember when they went down into that elevator and they went into that subterranean bullet train that was underground, man. They went from London, wherever they was at, to somewhere far as hell in like a matter of minutes, man. You see, they show you things like that in these movies, but then, they want you to look at it as just for entertainment value. Like those things don't really exist. But those things like that really exist, and these devils show you, what they're really doing and what they're really, the type of technology that they're dealing with. All right. And they got these underground cities, or even over there in Antarctica and other places around the world with these elites, man. You see, this is why they don't have no problem bringing manufactured famines. This is why they don't have no problem destroying the earth on the surface, because down there in these bunkers in Antarctica and these underground cities, man, they have enough food to sustain them for years and years and years, enough water. They got technology to where they're growing crops, they could raise cattle and do all type of shit down there. They was talking about how they got breakthrough technology down there. They got life extension shit down there. They got where you think all these missing children go? They're down there in cages, so they can get their adrenochrome, so they could, if they need organ transplants, whatever they need is all equipped down in these underground cities, man, while they're letting the surface burn, while they're dimming the sun, while they're, releasing all type of biological weapons and shit of that nature. These devils are going to be down there in their air conditioned, underground, utopian cities, man. But like I said, it's all good, man. That's going to be their last bit of comfort is down there underground, because once we come back out of those ships with Yahushua, it's all over for these devils. All right, they're going into captivity. All right, so here we go.
There's many out there that go into deep detail about the mapping out and the building out of these cities below our feet. And they serve multiple purposes, one of which is, of course, where all of the missing people go, somehow who vanish off the face of the earth. The hundreds of thousands of children who are never heard from again, who leave foster homes, who are abducted off the streets, and somehow they never find evidence of them no longer being alive. The wicked do their things. They do their deeds underground. They also...
Right, and like I said, you know what they're doing down there, man. They're sacrificing a lot of these children. Like I said, these elites, they need their adrenochrome. Like I said, they need organ transplants, if they need new hearts, new kidneys, melanin injections, hey, a lot of that business is going on down there, man. And, you tell people this, immediately they call you nuts. They call you a conspiracy theorist, and oh, you've been watching too many movies. That's all sci-fi shit. Stuff like that don't exist. Yeah, okay. Remember, the regular Jake out here, they don't know the depths of Satan, man. They don't know just how wicked and how odious works of witchcraft this man is involved in down there. So, hey, man, like I said, it's all good, man. Hey, but through the Spirit of the Most High, hey, these things are all being revealed, man. And like I said, we've been, starting with the elders and the apostles, we've been prophesying and telling you that, these devils was down there doing all type of mischief. We've been speaking about the dumbs, and etc. But now, hey, man, we're just we're in the time where the Lord is exposing all these things.
Currently hide out underground. Most of these people who you think pop up on television from time to time, like Bill Gates, they're underground at all times. That's how they remain safe and out of the public.
Right. So you see like the Epsteins and these people that's going to jail, all of a sudden you don't never hear from them again. What the hell? They're going right into the jail, right down into these rat holes, man. Hey, that's probably where those JOOs over there in New York was probably trying to dig down to when they got caught with those subterranean holes under those buildings that they were living in,
A lot of the green screening that you see done is done underground. They're destroying the Earth's surface while they're underground. However, do not forget when they're telling you all this stuff about how this is because of a near extinction event, don't forget about Antarctica, because that's really where the elite of the elite plan on going. It doesn't mean that some of these lower level Freemasons, like some celebrities and whatnot, won't be underground in these underground cities. Of course, a lot of them have diverted attention into you believing about their underground bunkers that they have on their property, which they do have. But they want you to think that that's where they're going to be. They're literally putting a bullseye on themselves, like Mark Zuckerberg saying, hey, I've got an underground bunker, but it's no big deal on my property. He's almost luring us in and to say, hey, well, if crap goes down, we know Zuckerberg's got an underground bunker. Let's go show up there, right? You probably walk inside and there's probably a huge sign hanging that says suckers, and it probably has no food inside of it. And the plan for people like Zuckerberg, Gates, Bezos, the world leaders, the Obamas, the Trumps, is and has always been to go to Antarctica. It is part of the reason that they signed the Antarctic Treaty. I know there's other people that believe other reasons around the Antarctic Treaty, that it has to do with the shape.
You see, but at the end of the day, it don't matter where the hell these devils go. Hey, it's nothing but a snare and a trap for them. And like I said, and for a lot of these elites, that's going to be their last bit of comfort inside those underground cities and underground bunkers, wherever the hell they're going to be. Because they know in their hearts of hearts, like I read in Revelation 6, they're going to be down there. Hey, when all hell is, when it's all said and done, they're going to be wishing for those rocks to fall upon them, because they know once they hear that boom, boom, boom at the door, and these elites are going to know that, because they're going to be watching underground. They got satellites. They're going to be watching all the hell break loose. They're going to be watching the real life purge take place on the surface. They're going to be down there drinking their blood, drinking adrenochrome, partying and celebrating, sacrificing to their gods and to their idols while all hell is breaking loose up here. They're going to be watching World War III take place. But hey, when Yahweh Shai cracks those clouds and makes his return, they're going to see that too. All right. And then all of a sudden there's going to be all that celebrating and all that hooping and hollering and toasting is going to come to an end, because they know eventually what's going to befall them once Yahweh Shai comes back, man. And like I said, we come out of those chariots, hey, they're going to hear that knock at the door, and they're going to go right into captivity. They're going to have chains on their ass. We're going to snatch them from out of those bunkers, and we're going to hire them out for perpetual employment, man. And one of their first jobs is going to be to bury those bodies over there in that Third World War. And hey, all of the high life, the pride, the loftiness, the comfort, the riches, the expensive wines, all of the partying and the luxury is going to come to an end. All right.
Of the earth. However, this piece of land is reserved for the global elites. This is where they plan on going when crap hits the fan. They are going to be nowhere within sight. They're going to be completely out of our reach. They will be absolutely untouchable when it comes to us finding them. But here is the clip that aired on Tucker Carlson's show that is getting.
She be like he said, hey, but Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai's going to sniff them out, and we're going to find them. All right. Like I said, it don't matter where they go. There's nowhere they can hide, man. Hey, there's nothing that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai don't see and don't know. All right. And he's going to lead us right to their locations, and they're going to be shitting and pissing in their knickers. And their knickers, as they would say in London, all right?
Rounds now in the mainstream media.
Fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. So the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system.
You see, that's why I read that Psalm 64 and 8, their own tongue shall fall upon themselves. And, whether this chick asked Catherine Austin Fitz is an insider, she could be. She reveals a lot of information about these devils, and she's still alive, so it makes you wonder, But at the end of the day, it still doesn't matter, man. Hey, these things are being revealed for the truth's sake, and for for the truth's sake,
That's been built, and I'm sorry. So we have built an extreme.
You see Tucker act like he don't know shit. Excuse me, huh? I don't. People are full of shit, That's why you got to, take caution, because a lot of these people are actors. They're all insiders, They're all working on the behalf of the elites. They're probably being told to, to do the revelation of the method, to reveal these things so that, Esau, he has to tell you what he's going to do before he does it,
Ordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems
In the United States?
in the United States and all over the world. We systematically went through and tried to estimate of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States.
See, under the ocean, in these, all over the place. All right. And this is Isaiah chapter. Let me see. Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust for fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and for the glory of his majesty." It says, "The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai alone shall be exalted in that day." You see? So like I was saying, once we come out of those chariots with Yahushai, man, hey, that's when these devils are going to be ultimately humbled. And remember, they're going to be watching everything that's going to be taking place when all hell breaks loose and, all of the chaos ensues and people on the surface are going to be going absolutely ape shit, survival of the fittest, like I said, Second Ezra 15 and 16 chapter is taking place. But like I said, once, Yahushua comes, man, and the dust settles, and Yahushua remains victorious over all of these nations when he comes to judge and to make war, and he beams up his elect, man, for however long those devils are going to be down in those bunkers, and we come back down, man. Hey, that's when all the pride is going to be sucked out of the room from wherever these devils are going to be hiding. And we're going to get them, man. We're going to get them all. It says, "For the day of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai of hosts, shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. And upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pitchers, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai alone, shall be exalted in that day, and the idols he shall utterly abolish, and they shall go into the holes and of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth, for fear of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth." You see? So like I said, this is where these devils are going to be when Yahushua makes his second return, man. All right. And like I said, man, hey, it's beautiful, man. And it says, "In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made every one for him to worship, to the moles and to the bats." Because like I said, down there in those bunkers, they worship, they're praying to their gods, offering up sacrifices. Why do you think they got hundreds of thousands of missing children coming up every day? All right. A lot of those children are being sacrificed, being offered up to their deities and to these idols that they worship. You see, it says to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks. You see, meaning what? These mountain retreats, whether it's in the space stations, whether it's underground, whether it's under the ocean. Hey, these devils, this is where they're going to be, man. It says, "For fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and for the glory of his majesty, when he arise to shake terribly the earth." It says, "Cease from man whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of?" You see, and these devils are going to be counted as nothing but mere mortals and men during this time, man. You see, but as we can see, hey, man, prophecy lines up perfectly with what this lady is explaining.
United States, and our estimate was 170 with a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
If you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, you have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret. For example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from, things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event,
Yeah, and what's going to be that near extinction event? Yahushua coming back to break the scepter of these damn devils, to take them out of rulership, to throw them into the captivity, man. You see? This is what these devils are digging these underground tunnels for. I mean, in their minds, in their pride, they think because, like I said, they're gonna ride out when all hell breaks loose, ride out the chaos, the nuclear destruction. They think they're gonna rise up out of the ashes like a phoenix when everything on the surface is destroyed, and they'll come out of their bunkers after a certain period of time and rebuild and go to space and go to Mars and all that other bullshit. Become technological gods, set up this new world order beast system, merge man with machine, have life extension, live forever, transfer their consciousness into all this bullshit and these dreams that they have, which are illusions of grandeur. But ultimately, we know you know, it's because you know their end is nigh, and it's not and through their pride they don't want to believe that they're going to be taken down by Yahweh Shah. But hey, man's goings are of the Lord. The Lord is the one that's choosing their own delusions for them to believe that they're going to be able to Euro step around prophecy. But hey, it's all going to work out the way Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah intended, man.
That's
So I know nothing about this.
So, of course, there's some truth.
Ain't no Tucker full of shit. I know nothing about this. Yeah, okay, get out of here, man. All right. And so it's beautiful, man. Hey, the Lord is making these things to be seen, and it's right around the corner, man. So hey, man, the water Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and this devil is being exposed. He's being revealed, and as we can see, man, hey, prophecy is looking us right in the face and jumping off the pages, man. So with that, I'm gonna close it there. Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, you were edified. Into the next one. Shalom.